Hello and welcome. We have come across an old muscle and fitness magazine printed and published around 2016, and it's an interesting article on Bruce Lee, asking the question, how do you take what Bruce Lee was, a perfectly efficient combination of power and athleticism, and improve upon it? The writers take off the rose-coloured glasses and imagine how much different Bruce Lee's training would be today, and dare to imagine that he could have been even greater. How do you improve on perfection? It's a question whose answer would seem self-evident, a rhetorical query designed to deter the hubris of anyone who would needlessly try to fix something that isn't broken. It's easy to understand why so many people consider Bruce Lee perfect. Although he left us prematurely more than 40 years ago, there are few people today not familiar with the martial arts icon. Through his movies, his martial arts innovations, he developed Jeet Kune Do, or his physique. Lee's legacy has continued to positively affect and inspire people around the world since his passing in 1973 at the age of 32. In short, Lee is a legend, and this particular writer, Martin Rooney, understands no one wants to see a legend change, but he wanted to make the argument that Lee would train quite differently today. Before he developed his system, Training for Warriors (TFW), he was certified in Jeet Kune Do and studied these training methods extensively. He is convinced that as a result of the combinations of current training methods and his progressive philosophy, he would have been even better today. Training methods like technology have come a long way since 1973. For a quick example, in 1973 IBM developed one of the first personal computer prototypes called the Scamp. It was revolutionary then, but the phone in your pocket today possesses about 1 million times the Scamp's mega processing power. Yeah, IBM were pretty much the top in those days, but they refused to integrate other components, say of Hewlett Packard or Microsoft, and they eventually went down the toilet. In 1973, the undefeated Miami Dolphins won the Super Bowl, but if today's Dolphins are training anything like Don Shula's team, it might explain the franchise's struggles. These examples are offered to prove that over the past 40 years, science and technology have improved exponentially. Don't you think the consummate student Bruce Lee would do the same if he were at his peak today? This author did, or does. But in order to do this, he would need to take a long, hard look at every aspect of what he did in and out of the gym, and then rebuild a program from the ground up. In the following pages, this is what this author will attempted to do. Bruce Lee's new training program. Training overview. Bruce Lee learned through combat that he needed to improve both his strength and conditioning to be a more effective martial artist. Although he used basic concepts like weights for strength, jogging for endurance, and stretching for flexibility, these methods have come a long way since the 1960s and 70s. Today, Lee would not seek best, but he would continue to seek better. Similar to what Lee used, the Training for Warriors system also uses a 4-day physical training week. This schedule allows fighters and weekend warriors to build strength and cardiovascular endurance while still leaving time for both recovery and martial arts training. In order to accomplish this, the following workouts should be finished in a little over an hour or less. If Lee were training today, the TFW methods would be perfectly tailored to match his need for strength, conditioning and recovery. You have to remember Lee was constantly training for martial arts in addition to his physical training. In accordance with the philosophy of his martial art, Jeet Kune Do, also referred to as a style of no style, Lee would surely be involved in more of the martial arts that make up MMA, adopting what works best for today's champs. This will require more time spent on martial arts training in addition to work in the weight room. As a result, you will notice that martial arts are kept separate from his TFW training routine. The following overview of his new training routine will explain Lee's past program and how and why it was upgraded. Warm up. This is one area in which training philosophy has greatly improved over the past 5 decades. Warming up properly can improve performance and decrease the chance of injury. Lee actually suffered a back injury which plagued him for years from performing barbell good mornings after not adequately warming up. He tried to do something different, put it on his back or something like that. Here we replace his archaic stretch routine with foam rolling elastic band work and a routine of dynamic movement to prepare the muscles, increase heart rate and stimulate the central nervous system. A full warm-up can be found in the TFW text. Strength training. Lee was one of the first martial artists to advocate weight training. This broke with the prevailing wisdom of his day that strength training would make you heavy and slow. However, in place of his total body routines, the writer or the author has changed the emphasis to one upper and one lower body day. Weights used are heavier and sets and overall volume increased from his 2 sets of 8 to develop more size and strength. Some basic bodybuilding moves he used are upgraded to a more productive fight specific version. Single leg lifts are added to improve stability and kicking power. Endurance. In Lee's day, roadwork and a jump rope were the gold standards in cardiovascular training for combat. Although this can still be a way to challenge the body and help a fighter clear his mind, the repetitive pounding can break an athlete down. In its place, the writers used sprints to metabolic circuits designed to increase endurance, maintain strength, and burn fat. These workouts take less time and allow for greater recovery. These circuits also utilise a number of tools that were greatly underutilised in Lee's day, like heavy ropes, an agility ladder, a sandbag, and a slam board. Core. Lee was a big fan of abdominal work, but in his day, most abdominal exercises like sit-ups and crunches were done for extremely high reps. Lee could often be found banging out hundreds of reps of abdominal work. These reps cost time, and presently there are more effective ways to develop core strength. To increase productivity and recovery, thousands of bodyweight reps Lee performed are replaced with more heavily loaded exercises that require both stability and rotation, helping transfer even more power to punches and kicks. Well, he liked to, in many of his biographies, he actually, in his philosophy, etc., he's basically saying, make things simple and it'll be easier to apply and get a faster effect, all that sort of stuff. So maybe the machines that he got created by James Lee, etc., in his time, actually packed on the muscle through those, right, and through his weight training, etc., as martial arts. Nutrition and recovery. Lee took vitamins and ate clean in order to achieve his legendary physique. Yes, he had great muscle definition, but he also had a body weight that fluctuated between 125 and 145 pounds and a 5'7" frame. The increase in information about nutrition, supplementation and recovery would have helped him to pack on more muscle and size today. Lee, the student that he was, would surely have stayed on the cutting edge of this information and taken advantage of the improvements. If he had been able to add subs like creatine and hydrolyzed whey protein to his diet and use current recovery methods, Lee could have even been sharper. But he was a specialist. He had created muscles upon muscles for a specific reason. He wasn't into bulk, unnecessary bulk, which made him slow and heavy. Right? It was all done for power, speed, agility. So he knew what he was doing. But you had to be open to today's advanced technology, techniques, etc. You definitely have a look at that. Okay, so here they have Bruce Lee 2.0, the workout, according to the TFW. Perform the workouts once per week. There are 4 total training days per week, not including any martial arts training. Follow the program for 4 to 6 weeks. So you got to be careful of this, okay? Because this could be advanced, intermediate, or advanced workout, not really a beginner's workout. Okay. Upper body training day, Directions: perform on Monday or early in the week to allow for martial arts training. Perform exercises marked A and B as supersets. Start with a 10 to 15 minute warm up. So there's the supersets. That's why I was saying just be careful, because you're pushing yourself to the extreme doing supersets, aren't you? Yeah. There's no like beginner here. So they're probably assuming that you're already training and at that level. So you've got to start with a 10 to 15 minute warm up. Ease yourself into it, right? Here's the exercises they suggest. Finisher: core circuit. Perform twice. Lower body training day. Directions: perform on Friday or late in the week to allow for martial arts training and max recovery. Start with a 10 to 15 minute warm up. Core circuit. Yeah. It may be easy to perform, but it might just be the amount of reps that you have to do. As a person, a person just got off the couch, you don't expect instant muscles. You might feel some pain and all that sort of stuff, aches and pains, creaks, because you're living a sedentary life. You haven't done exercises for ages. So, keep in mind, don't go overboard. You might not be able to get up off the floor. You might be so stiff because your tendons tightened up. Or maybe the next day you can't get out of bed because you're all tight, right? Yeah, and here's some more suggestions here. Med ball, triangle crunch, dumbbell floor press. And here's a little bit of information about the author. Martin Rooney is a world-renowned coach, author of Warrior Cardio, and founder of Training for Warriors. TFW is a physical training system that was born from world and Olympic champions and is now used by thousands of people per day to improve physical strength and mental fortitude. Go look at the website trainingforwarriors.com if it's still up there. Here's some more exercises from Bruce Lee Workout 2.0. TFW Energy Circuit, Metabolic Training Day 1. TFW Energy Circuit, and there's the suggestions of the exercises. Training Day 2, TFW Hurricane. Direction exercises. Round 1, round 2, round 3. Single leg mountain climber. Plate rotational lunge. Sprinter sit up. Round 3. Sprint abdominal pike burpee. Okay, here's some more here. TFW pseudo sumo deadlift. That's quite a lot of weight for a beginner. You might want to start light and then build up. Okay. And here's a type of rope tossing method. Grab the rope ends in both hands and walk halfway up to the anchor point. Stand in an athletic position, sweep the arms side to side, creating as many waves between you and the anchor as you can. Do this as fast as possible. Yeah, this guy's a trainer and a model, so he's already abbed up and everything, muscled up. Yeah, just be careful.